Hi, honey. Hi, guys. I'm gonna let you all sign in for a little while. I'm actually gonna turn the comment section off, just so you can see the full screen, and I'll just wait for the ticker to sort of even out. For those of you who follow along on my playlists, I have them both on Apple Music and on my Spotify. I have a Spotify account now. My username is amorley9, and the playlist is called Black Lives Matter. I'll repeat this a little bit later. On Apple Music, my username is angmorley, ANGMORLEY, and the playlist again is called Black Lives Matter. So it's kind of like, I wasn't really sure whether I should do this or not, because I feel like I kind of came late to the Blackout Tuesday thing. But that being said, I do feel it is important to use the voice following this. I am going to only be posting content for Black, Indigenous, people of color, resources, stuff like that. I know that I said I would donate everything to Black Lives Matter, but I posted a bunch of resources on my feed, and I think I'd really like it if you went through and donated to one that like hits for you instead. So please go that route. For those who have already sent, I'll send it straight through. That being said, we'll go back to playlists. On Spotify, amorley9, it's called Black Lives Matter. On Apple Music, Ange Morley, it's also called Black Lives Matter. And it's a playlist that is, yes, here for class, but I'd highly recommend that you actively listen to it after class or at another time. I left you The Revolution Will Not Be Televised by Gil Scott-Heron at the end of the playlist. And I highly recommend, it's not that long, it's like 3 minutes. I highly recommend you just really actively listen to that, because it was written in the 70s, but how relevant. All right. So I think we've about evened out, and I'm just gonna get us started on this because I don't want to make any of this about me. Let's just get into it, okay? Flow, move, breathe, feel. One more thing. I want to mention that yoga is also, it's this thing that I've devoted my life to, and I've done little in terms of learning about where it came from. I kind of stick to the anatomical, as you know, side. That being said, I've started the Bhagavad Gita, and it is about self-awareness and connecting with the fact that we are all one. But it also is about selfless service for the sake of selfless service, not the outcomes that come from it, but just because it's that's what you do, and it's the connection to the self that I think eventually leads people to that. But at this time, I think more than any, we need to really practice that side of it. So there's my little yoga knowledge from somewhere else other than anatomy for today. And let's get this playlist started. I'll count you down, 3, 2, 1, then play. So this is for real. 3, 2, 1, play. And you'll just, let's start just lying on the back. And just start there. A couple really deep breaths. Sort of allow those breaths to maybe embody the way you feel right now. And then slowly starting to take the inhalations and the exhalations through the nose. Finding a slight constriction in the base of the throat that allows the breath to rush along the base of the throat, creating that more audible wave-like sound. And then slowly start to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, and gently start to rock your head from shoulder to shoulder. Start to rotate your wrists, your ankles. And then glue your legs together, point through your toes on your inhale. Stretch your fingers as far away from your toes as they'll reach. Take a really deep breath in. And then just exhale, sigh. Start by pulling both knees in toward the chest. Gently rock from side to side, up and down. Move the leg bones around within the hip sockets. Roll around on the sacrum. Do your thing. And then allow the knees to separate. Take the arms through the inner lines of the legs. Grab onto the outer edges of the feet. Try to keep the sacrum really heavy and just allow the spine to sort of settle as you really draw the knees out to the sides. Start to draw some length into the inner thighs. And then if happy baby's your jam, you can find that. You can rock, you can extend legs. This is really a free flow. I want to try to cue as little as I can. And then from there, knees in toward one another. Press the feet down into the floor. Start with the arms up overhead. Press down into the feet. Lift the hips up toward the ceiling. And then from there, start to release one arm down. And then the other. And then start to squeeze the shoulder blades in toward one another. Keep pressing down through the inner edges of the feet. Breathe. 3, 2. Good. Slowly start to come down. Pull your knees in toward your chest. Start to rock up and down your mat 2 or 3 times. Rock up over top of the shins. Tabletop. From there, starting to cycle through some cat-cows. Feeling your way through your spine. Through the body. Adding in any side-to-sides or barrel rolls, if those are your thing. And then tucking the toes under, pulse the way back toward the heels. Really think about the toes extending, so they're really pressing into the floor. You're stretching out the arches of the feet. The hands are really firmly pressing forward into the floor so your shoulders can pull away from your ears. And then start to tip weight forward into the hands. Puff up the space between the shoulder blades and start to lean forward. Making sure you're not hyperextending, keeping weight in the fingertips, keep pushing the chest up, pull the belly button up. And then slowly start to come back. Walk the hands back toward the knees, and then from there, lift off the knees. Grab onto your opposite elbows and just sway over top of your legs. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2. Slowly start to walk your hands forward to a plank. From knees or toes, I'll do knee plank first. It's different than a tabletop because there's no crease through the front of the hips. Take a deep breath in. So you exhale, slowly come to the floor. Untuck the toes, take the right arm out to the right. Step the left foot over top of the right leg. Breathe into that right front of the shoulder, chest. Slowly come back down through the center. And then do the same to the other side, left arm out. Breathe into that left side of your chest. Slowly come back down onto your belly. Take the hands back in line with the low ribs. Pull the elbows in toward the sides. Bend the knees. Push yourself all the way up through a knee plank. And then take yourself back into a child's pose. Breathe there. 3, 2. And slowly start to come forward, tuck your toes under, sit back towards your heels. Good. Inhale, lift both arms, interlace the elbows behind the head, slowly start to lift the chest. And then as you exhale, really round through the spine, push onto your thighs and send your seat bones forward on your heels. Take your arms out to the side, sit tall. So you exhale, right hand over to the side, lift the left arm up and over. Inhale back through center. Left hand down. Lift right arm up and over. Awesome. Slowly start to come back through center. Hands a little further forward than they are in a tabletop. Find your way back into your first downward facing dog. Feel free to pedal at your feet. Rock your hips from side to side. Shake your head yes or no. Breathe. For 3. For 2. Slowly come forward into a plank again. Good. So with chaturanga, the chest will come forward a little, but the heels still press back in space. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, upper arm bones in, chin and chest forward. You flip to the top of the feet. Push up to upward dog. And then exhale, lift your hip creases, come up and over the toes, downward dog. 3 more breaths here. 2. Good, so look forward between the hands and just start to tiptoe your feet all the way up to the top of your mat. Make sure your feet are about hip width apart when you get to the top of the mat. So about 2 fists in between the inner edges of the feet. Press down through the heels, shift some weight forward to the balls of the feet and lift your big toes up. Take your peace fingers, your thumbs around the big toes and then push the big toes back down into the floor. Shift some weight forward. Use the arms. Pull the head in toward the shins. Take a soft or generous bend in the knees, whichever one your hamstrings ask for. 3 breaths. 2 breaths. All right, slowly start to lift the chest forward. And then you're gonna start to sit your seat bones down towards your heels and just reach your arms straight forward like you're holding on to a basketball, let's say, a beach ball. I don't want it to be too wide, about shoulder width apart. Pull your shoulder blades back into their sockets, and then from there, see where you can sit down. Little lower, little lower, little lower. Perhaps sit right onto the floor. Lift the legs. Boat. 1. Lift your chest. Feel the shoulder blades pull together behind the back. 3. 4. And then take your feet wide onto the floor. Take your hands behind you. Boost yourself up into Malasana. You can rock a little side to side here. You can use your elbows to spread the knees away from one another. You can get up onto your toes, stretch out your feet a little bit. And then you will land at center. Push the elbows into the knees and then press the knees back into the elbows. Feel that work come down into your hip creases, pull in and up on the pelvic floor and see where you can start to lengthen through your spine. Just a little bit more. For 3 breaths. Try to keep the weight here on the baby toe side edge of your feet. 2 breaths. Amazing. So from there, you're slowly just gonna start to lift the hips. Heel toe the feet right together. Inhale, lift your chest forward, and as you exhale, fold the forehead to the shins. Inhale, lift the arms all the way up. Exhale, take your hands down to your hearts. All right, sun salutation. Inhale, lift the arm. As you exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, chest and gaze, move forward. As you exhale, press the hands. Step or hop back. Slowly lower. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Breathe. Look forward, come to the tippy toes, bend the knees, hop or step to where you're looking. Inhale, chest comes forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, your hands down to your heart. Get it again. Breathe in. And breathe in. Breathe in. Exhale. Make your way through the vinyasa is yours. One. 2. 3. 4. Look forward between your hands, come to the tippy toes, bend the knees, come forward. Lift your chest, fold your forehead to your shins. Inhale, lift your arms. Exhale, hands to heart. Last one on your own. Holding downward dog. For another 3, 2. Look forward, bend the knees. Step or hop forward. Breathe and lift your chest. And then fold over your legs. Slowly lift the arms. Exhale your hands to your heart. Take your hands to your hips, take a little hop and just let your feet land naturally, hip width apart. From there, shift your weight over onto your left foot. Wrap the outer left hip in. Start to lift the right knee. And then take the right thigh bone out to the side and take your right foot onto the inner left thigh or the calf. Press the foot and the leg together. Start to line that up through your central bandhas. Let's take the hands to the heart. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2. Good. Slowly start to turn the right knee forward. From there, hinge over top of the left hip. Reach the chest forward into the thumbs and extend that right leg back. Turn the right hip down and send that left hip back as much as you can. 3 deep breaths. 2. Bend the left knee. Reach with those right toes back. Try to stay up on the right toes, keeping the heel really high. Lift both your arms. Breathe here for 3. It's 2. Good, and then from there, you're gonna start to straighten that left leg as the hands come down toward the floor. Don't worry so much about a bend through the front knee. I'm trying to stretch out the back calf. So generously bend that left leg if you need to. This is how generous mine is. And really push the right heel into the floor. Lift the inner right thigh. Wag your tail slightly over toward the left. Keep that right heel grounded. Now wag it over to the right. 3 breaths. Keep lifting that right inner thigh. 2 breaths. Wag the tail through center. Right heel presses down. Chest moves forward. For 3, 2. Hands press down to the floor. You can come to the right toes as you take that left leg all the way up and back. Left foot forward between thumbs. Right heel rolls to the floor. Lift the right arm up and the left for your 2. Breathe out. 3 breaths. Just make sure you're only seeing left big toe on the inner edge of the left knee. You're on the outer edge of the back foot. 2. Good. So from there, slowly start to reverse that 2. Good. And then as you exhale, start to take the bend out of the left knee, reach the left arm forward. When you can no longer reach forward, you probably can a little, take the left hand down to the left leg, press the back of the left hand onto the left leg to start to turn your chest open. Push your hips forward, reach your right arm up, roll your right wrist up. Other direction. Reach the fingers up. Exhale, take the right hand down, bend into the left knee. Walk the hands to the right, turn both sets of toes toward the right. Inhale, lift the chest forward. Exhale, fold over the legs, bend the knees, and take weight forward to the toes where you need. Weight forward to the toes is a non-negotiable. Definitely not all the way back in the heels. 3 breaths. 2. Good. Slowly start to walk the hands forward, top of the space. Left foot steps back to meet right foot. Slowly lower. Lift her upward. Take it back downward. And breathe. 3. 2. All right. Walk. Tiptoe. Your feet forward. All right, feet about hip width apart. This time, lift up onto the heels, so take the toes off the floor. Bend the knees where you need to. Take the hands underneath of the feet. Try to get the toes up toward the wrist creases as much as possible. And then again, tip the weight forward into the toes. Feel yourself step down onto your hands. It should feel pretty good. Pull your hands back up into your feet. So what happens, it might be hard to see with my t-shirt here, but your shoulders go from bunching around your ears to sliding away from the ears instead. That little bit of pressure. And then you can let the head hang happy. For 3. Yep, that's 2. Gently take the hands out from underneath of the feet. And then bend the knees, curl the low spine, and then curl the mid spine. And then curl the thoracic spine behind your ribs. And then still the one in your neck, and your head finally comes up last. Just give it a couple shoulder rolls. And then you'll take the weight over onto the right foot. Allow the right hip is gonna wanna push. So what that looks like out to the side. So can you wrap this outer right hip in? Breathing there. For 3. Oh, wait, take that left knee out in front. Take the left leg out to the side, and then draw that left foot in, pressing the foot and the leg together. Breathing for 5. You stay because my playlist stopped. For 4. For 3. It's 2. And then from there, you're slowly going to take that right knee forward and that left knee forward in space. And you'll slowly start to hinge over the right hip, sending that left leg back in space. You want to think about sending the chest forward into the thumbs rather than down. Forward. 3 more breaths. 2. Good, start to bend into your right knee. Reach back with the left toes. Lift through the arms, finding that high lunge. 3 breaths there. Music issues today, of course. 2. Okay, and then from there, you're taking the bend out of the right knee. And then, not fully, if it's not there. Press the left heel down onto the floor. Now start to wag your tail out to the right. Keep pressing that left heel down, lift the left thigh. Now wag it all the way over to the left. I get the best calf stretch when I reach it over to the left. And then wag your tail through center and reach your chest forward. Lift that left thigh. Good. And then the hands will come down. That right leg goes all the way up and back. And then the right foot steps forward between the hands. The left heel rolls to the floor. You're coming up warrior 2. Good, breathing here. 4. 3. 2. Left arm will start to move back. Reach that right arm up and overhead. Make sure it's a side bend, not a back bend. Watch the collapse of the right knee. Slowly start to hinge the hip. Take the bend out of the right knee. Once you feel like you can't reach forward, it's very likely that you may actually be able to. Right hand and right leg press together to spin the chest open. Push the hips forward in space. So lengthen your tailbone down towards your left heel. And then roll the wrist. And then reverse. And then reach up. And then bend that right knee, walk the hands to the left. Inhale, lift the chest forward. And then as you exhale, fold over the legs. Good, breathing here for 5. A bend in the knees. Maybe grabbing onto toes, taking the shoulder treatment of your choice. For 3. Now that's 2. Slowly starting to walk the hands back up toward the top of your mat. Good, and then from there, right foot steps back to meet left foot. You slow lower. Inhale, upward facing. And then exhale. Take it over your toes for downward dog. Okay, breathe here. 5, 4, 3, 2. Look forward. Bend your knees. Step or lightly hop your feet forward, and then inhale, lift your chest forward. Exhale, fold. Come up to your tippy toes this time. Sit toward the heels. Take the knees out a little wider. Take the knees as high up onto the armpits as you can as you ground the hands down into the floor. Now push the upper arms against the knees and the knees back into the upper arms. And then from there, start to lean forward. Just lean forward. My head is reaching toward the wall in front of me, not down to the floor. And then maybe the legs will lift. Maybe not, no big deal. Come back down through Malasana. So feet together, knees wide. Reach the hands forward this time. Try to sit back onto your heels as you fold the chin in toward the chest. 3 breaths. 2. Amazing. Slowly come to your seat. Lift back up into a boat. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to tuck your knees in. You're going to roll back, and hopefully with enough momentum, you're going to roll up to Utkatasana. You may need to use the hands. You may not. 5 breaths here. Little tuck of the tailbone, pelvic floor pulling up and in. Find the bandhas. For 2. Fold. Chest comes forward. Vinyasa is yours. Lift your right leg. And then as you exhale, take that right knee forward to the chest. Take your gaze forward past the top edge of your mat. Inhale, lift your right leg up and back. As you exhale, right knee behind right arm. Try to tuck it up into your armpit. And then take it back. And then same thing. Try to tuck it up into your left armpit, but keep the shoulders in an even plane. And then lift the right leg back. And then from there, step the right foot forward. Keep that left foot, and by left foot I mean hand, on the floor. And then you're slowly going to start to turn your chest open. The right hip reaches back, the left hip reaches up. Breathe there. 3 breaths. 2 breaths. Good. And then you're going to slowly start to lift both arms. And then as you exhale, push your right thumb down into your right hip crease. Take your the back of the left hand across that right knee. Now push the knee and the hand in toward one another and turn your right shoulder back behind your left. Start to reach that right arm back. 3 breaths. 2. Hips stay the same, right hand comes down. Left arm reaches up. All right. Left hand down, then right. Walk the hands to the left. Turn the left toes out. Skandasana. 5. Make sure, like Malasana, the weight is on the outer edge of that left foot. 2 more breaths. Amazing. Walk the hands forward to the top of your mat. Lift that right leg all the way up and back. Good, and then step that right foot forward. Draw the left knee in toward the chest. Slowly start to hinge up, left knee in. Good, and then from there, bend the right knee. Hook the left leg around the right. and the left elbow under the right. Find the bandas. See where you can sit a little lower, shoulders away from ears. 3, 2. Press into that right foot. Stand, wrap the outer right hip in. Step the left foot down. Lift the arms up, grab the right wrist. Push your hips out to the right. Press the outer edge of the right foot down and find your stretch for the right side. Inhale, come back up. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, draw the chest forward. Vinyasa through. Landing back and downward dog. Breathing here, 3 breaths. 2. And then the left leg's moving up and back. And as you exhale, left knee comes forward to chest. Again, you can send the weight forward. Get a little lighter this time on the back foot. Allow the heel to come forward. And then the left leg goes back. And then try to tuck it into the left armpit. Puff up the space between your shoulder blades. And then take it back. And then try to bring it into the right armpit without jutting that left shoulder forward. And then push it back. And then take the left foot forward between your thumbs. The right hand will stay down. You'll slowly start to twist or twist toward the left. Take that left hip back in space. Try to make sure the right upper arm bone isn't rolling towards your left knee. It's rolling away from it. And then you'll slowly come back through center. Start to lift both arms. Good. The right hand, the back of it, comes to the outside of the left knee. Push the 2 in toward one another to twist the torso. Reach the left arm back. Breathe there. For 3. For 2. Left hand starts to reach. Right arm reaches up and over. Good, and then right hand down on the left. Walk the hands to the right, turn the right toes out. Come down, skandhasana on the other side. 1, 2, 3. Find that bind point. Right arm, right leg. Can you feel that work moving into the right hip crease? It's good work. Walk it forward. Good, and then from there, step the left leg all the way up and back. And then step the left foot forward. Pull the right knee in toward the chest. Slowly start to lift. Good, find your balance. Then find your eagle. 1. Band is active in the eagle, otherwise it turns into a low back issue. 2. 3. That's 4. Push into that left foot, stand, wrap the outer left hip in, feel that happen, and then step the right foot down beside the left. Unwind the arms, grab onto your left wrist. Push out into the outer edge of your left foot as you reach up and away from it, like up and away from it, not just away. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chest gaze lift. Vinyasa is yours. Breathing here for 3. For 2. Come forward into a plank. Slowly lower all the way to your belly. Untuck your toes. And then from there, take the fingertips out to the side. Tent the fingertips like you're holding cupcakes. Lift the elbows up toward the ceiling, but keep the shoulders away from the ears. Let the forehead come to the floor for a moment. Just find that work through your hands and your shoulders. Lift one leg. Then the other, extend them back in space. Feel your tailbone lengthen down toward your heels, your low belly start to pull in as you inhale. Lift your head, neck, and chest. And then as you exhale, right shoulder comes down, left elbow moves up, look up toward that left elbow. Stay. 3, 2, try not to forget about the lower body here. Lift back up. Left shoulder down, right elbow up. Try not to forget about what's going on through your low body. 3, 2. Lift the chest back up. Good, now from here, reach the arms back. Lift one leg, lift the other. 5, 4, 3, 2. Stack the hands, forehead down. Breathe. 3, 2. Hands come beside the ribs. Push back, child's pose. Breathe there for 3. For 2. From there, come forward into a tabletop. Tuck your toes under. Lift off your knees 1 inch. Good, now start to send your elbows down toward the floor. Your belly pushes back toward your thighs, and then hinge your hips up as you look back through your feet. Breathe in, dolphin. See where you can wrap your armpits in toward your face. Think about your forearms both sliding forward and in toward one another. Knees come back down, they hover. Push the weight over top of your hands. 3 breaths. 2. And then slow. Make your way back. Breathe. 1, 2. Let your shoulders shrug a little. See how that changes this. Might feel better. You're not fighting the joint anymore. Knees come down. 1 more time forward. 5, 4, 3, 2. Reach the hands a little further forward. Come back to downward dog. And then from there, you'll inhale, lift that right leg up. And as you exhale, draw that right knee forward, behind the right wrist. Find pigeon. Left toes move back in space. Inhale, chest will lift up. And then exhale. Start to fold over your right leg. Breathing here for 5. 4, 3, 2. Slowly start to make your way back up. Let gravity take you over onto the right side. Take the left leg forward in space. The right foot will sit inside the left thigh. For a moment, I just want you to sit tall and think about guiding the right knee away from you. So I'm guiding directly toward the screen here. Sitting tall on both sit bones, pressing that left heel forward, and just work to put both your hips in the same line. It's a very subtle action, but work to find that first. Now take a deep breath in and start to hinge forward from the hips. Keep using the hands on the legs if they're useful. Breathe here. 5, 4, 3. Good, that's 2. Slowly start to lift yourself back up. Start to lift that right arm. Flick the wrist the other way. The right hand comes down, fingertips point back. Press into the right hand, lift onto the right shin. Press the hips forward for gate pose. And then as you exhale, slowly start to sit back down. And you'll cross your right leg over top of your left leg. Start to draw that right hand closer in towards you. Sit up tall, reach the left arm tall, and then take some portion of the left arm across that right thigh and press the two in toward one another to help you twist only the spine. The hips are still in the same line they were when you were folding forward. Breathe here. 3 deep breaths. As you press that arm and that leg together, can you feel the work in the right hip crease? Slowly start to unwind. Counter twist. Good, and then cross one ankle over top of the other. Pull the feet right in, roll over top the feet. Come back through vinyasa, make your way back to downward dog. And then again, come down onto the knees. Shift the seat bones back on top of the heels. Take a little child's pose for 5, for 4, it's 3, it's 2, and then again, you'll slowly start to come forward, tuck the toes, lift up and back, find downward dog. The left leg's gonna lift this time, and then the left knee comes forward behind the left wrist, and the right toes back in space. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, find your pigeon. Breathe there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slowly start to come down onto your left hip. Start to reach that right leg forward in space. Left foot will just sit inside right thigh, and just for a moment, think about sending your left knee out to the side, not down to the floor. And just press down into your right quad muscle. I want you to I want your quad muscle to feel a little firm. And then start to pull the two hips into the same line. And keep the quad muscle a little bit firm as you start to lean forward. Breathe for 1, 2, 3, 4. Amazing. Start to lift it back up. Lift that left arm up. Flip that wrist, fingertips back. Lift up. Press the hips up toward the ceiling. And then you can decide how much back bend you actually want to add to this. And then you slowly come back down. Pick that left foot up, step over top of your right thigh, and then remind yourself where your hips go. That left hand comes in behind the back, lift the right arm up. Take any space on the right arm across that left leg and start to twist that left shoulder back in space. Breathe for 1, 2, 3, 4. Slowly unwind. Little counter twist. And then left ankle over right. Pull your feet in. Roll over top. Vinyasa through. Good. And then from there, hop, step, creep forward to a seat. You're gonna take the soles of your feet together. Actually, send them a little further forward than a diamond. So make more of a diamond than a triangle. And give yourself some flexion through the spine. So allow the low back to round a little bit, the chin to come in toward the chest. If it feels useful, the elbows can guide the thigh bones away from you. You can start to hinge after you've got the curl, if you choose. Breathe here. For 3. It's 2. All right, slowly start to come back up. Pull your heels a little closer in toward you. If that bunched them way up toward the ears, keep them where they were. And then you can interlace the hands. I like mine around my baby toes, but some people like to grab onto the big toes. It's completely up to you. Grab onto where it feels useful. Think again about the knees moving out to the sides. This time without a curl through the spine, can you actually keep the shoulder blades pulling together behind the back as you start to hinge forward? Breathe here. 1. As much as you're sending the hips back in space, the chest forward, can you contain that rib basket a little bit? For 3. 4. Good, slowly start to come back up. And then from there, you're gonna take the knees in toward one another. Take the arms forward, slowly roll onto your back. Take your feet up toward the sky. Breathe here and legs against the wall. For 5. 4. 3. 2. Set your feet down onto the floor. You're going to lift back up through bridge pose. So you had one at the beginning. If you would like to interlace your hands this time below the back, that's totally an option. If you want to move into wheel, everything pretty much stays the same. You just plant the hands down and then start to lift the upper body. Breathe here, 5. Try to pull your navel back toward your spine to reduce any hyperextension through the low spine. Squeeze your tush to lift the hips. Lift the back of the heart space. And then you'll slowly start to make your way back down. Pause. For 3. 2. Good. And then from there, you'll start to rock up and down the mat 2 or 3 times. Keep the legs together. Flex the ankles. Pull the baby toes back as much as the big toes. Take any amount of bend in the knees that you need. You're going to try to keep the shoulder blades together behind the back as you hinge forward into the hips. So grabbing onto wherever that might mean for you. 5 breaths. 4 breaths. 3 breaths. 2. Good. Slowly start to make your way back up. This time you're going to pull your knees in toward your chest. You're going to roll up on top of your shoulders so that your elbows can press down. You can kind of hold it for a second. If that's not working out, move into legs against the wall pose again. Narrow the elbows in toward one another. Try to press the hands into the mid-back rather than by the tush. Press into the baby side edge of your hands a lot. And then maybe lift the legs. For another 4. 3. 2. And then you'll start to move into a plow if you've got the space. If you don't have the space, you could try snail. Eventually, snail actually does curl in, and the shins will come to the floor. Plow is more of a flat spine. And then start to reach your arms forward in space. Think about the action of your tailbone curling in towards your navel the entire time you make your way down to the floor. How slowly can you move through it? Press the knees in toward the chest. Take a couple rocks back and forth. And then from there, release your left leg down the mat. Keep your right knee pulled in. Press the right hip crease forward to the left foot. Point your left toes or flex your left ankle. Just do something with the left leg. And then start to either take that left hand to the outer edge of your right foot, twist, or keep the knee bent. Breathing here for 1, 2, 3, 4. Good, come back up through center. Pull your forehead up towards your right knee. Switch. Left leg in, right leg forward. Point your right toes, flex your left ankle, do something with your left leg. Send that left hip crease forward toward the right ankle. Try to relax your shoulders. 3 breaths. 2 breaths. And then you can either extend and then roll, or not. Keep the knee bent. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slowly come back onto your back. Pull your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your forehead up towards your knees. Shavasana. Letting your heels be really nice and wide. Your toes be really heavy. Just letting go of a couple really big breaths. Allowing yourself to settle into the space. Experience the space. Seek your call to action, whatever that might be. But find that selfless service that speaks to you in a way that you're doing it just for its sake. Not because something happened, or because it'll make you feel good. Just because it's what to do. And then really slowly start to wiggle your fingers. Wiggle your toes. Rock your head really gently from shoulder to shoulder. And start to rotate your wrists and your ankles. And then glue your legs together, point through your toes on your inhale, stretch your fingers as far away from your toes as they'll reach. Take a really deep breath in. And then take a sigh. Do that one more time if it felt good. And let it go. And then you'll slowly draw yourself back up to any seats. You can take your hands together in front of your heart. bow your forehead lightly towards your fingertips. Spending a moment pausing. We'll take a final deep breath together. Inhale. And then exhale all the way. Namaste. So, do go back and actively listen to that playlist. I think it's important. If you want a book, so I was talking about in one of my posts about how I have mindlessly rapped through hip hop lyrics. Remember this book? It's going to be backwards. This is Decoded by Jay-Z. It's well written. It breaks down some of his lyrics. I think it's an important book. I also read a book called Passing by Nella Larson when I was in an American Lit course that I think is pretty relevant right now if anybody wanted to read that. I'm also investing in how to be an anti-racist because I think I need education there. And finally, I really want you to move forward and look at that list. There's a whole great big list of like restaurants you can support, of organizations you can support. Like send what you would have sent me or more, or like just go support. Okay? I really want you to do it. I think it's important that you do. That being said, those who did already donate, I will be sending that money over to Black Lives Matter with my own donation. And guys, just like educate, be aware. I think it was for someone who teaches awareness, I was very unaware of some things. So check yourself and like go out, be a good human, okay? Have a good rest of Tuesday. Bye. I will be blackout from now on, but if you're looking for any sort of resources, it's the only thing I'm going to be posting. That being said, my classes that I normally do on Thursday night and on Saturday through IG Live, I'm going to try to find teachers who are offering who are Black, Indigenous, or people of color, and I'm going to send you guys over their way instead so that awareness. Okay? So have a good week. I'll be around to chat with me through IG. It's just I'm going to use the platform for other things for a little while. Bye guys. Namaste.